Hi, it's me again with Corel Draw Tips and Tricks, and I made several videos on this morning, and I was just playing around with the extrude tool and found some things that I didn't realize about it that I never did like it when you extruded a bunch of stuff all at one time because there's so many lines, but it's kind of like putting a puzzle together and kind of neat. But what you need to do when you make a shape like we made this morning, you need to smart fill it to get a good solid shape. And then you can left click, right click. I'm going to put it in the center of the page. It doesn't really matter. And then I'm going to extrude it with the extrude tool. I'm just going to click on it and go down just a little bit. And the reason we're using the extrude tool is to get that and kind of put it at an angle. And then I knew you could break the extrude group apart. But there were so many lines I used to get a little confused. So we're going to grab it all, go up to Object, break the extrude group apart, and we're going to take the lid off and nudge it over twice. Matter of fact, I'm going to back that up and I'm going to change my nudge factor to 10 so I won't have to nudge it twice. And here's where it's kind of fun. Well, kind of like putting a puzzle together in a way. We're going to take all these and now go to Object and ungroup them. That was what I didn't really realize before. And all these cylinders are in there and all these other things in there. We're going to make everything red. So when we move something, we know it will be there. And I'm going to grab that back cylinder and look at that. Now there's a front to that cylinder to make it like that. I actually don't want to put that cylinder in there yet, so I'm going to nudge these down. I'm going to nudge all my cylinders over, over, and then down, and down. I might put those right back here in a second. But as you see, I'm going for the front of the cylinder and the back of the cylinder. Now I'm actually going to move that, nudge that back over with the other cylinders. Now we need one more, and we'll actually start with that one. So there's two sides of the cylinder. We don't immediately, we can start deleting lines. We do not need that line because you'll never be able to see it. I'm going to remove my indexing lines now. And then just start kind of playing, and we're going to grab that interior shape. I'm just nudge it over twice again. I'm going to try to get the out to, well, we're going to nudge that twice. But then there's parts of this chip holder that you can't really, and you don't want to get, or at least I don't want to get too far involved before you start deleting lines or you'll really get confused. So we'll never be able to see that because that cylinder will be in the way. We won't be able to see that line. I'm actually going to go here now and click on that and go to Object and break the curve apart so I can get rid of that ring so it won't be in my way. And then you can more easily see what to take away or not. And so I think it's going to be more detailed than I had before. If you watch the videos this morning, like you won't be able to see that, and there's actually probably something missing. But if you look at the detail now around that edge, and it might have been just the way I drew it. And then we can start moving the other side. There's probably some other part, but if you get to a part that is either hidden, see that part's going to be hidden. Let me move these out of the way. Let me move them up quite a bit. So if you see a part that you don't think you're going to need, don't delete it. Move it up. So now I'm going to try to grab that other side of the square. I'm just going to right arrow over, right arrow over, right arrow over, right arrow over. We are going to need that curve right there, but just for a minute of a second until we start deleting. Like we won't be able to see that line. Probably won't be able to see that line either. I thought that was that curve. Well, you know what? There is a line there. Maybe there's a little detail missing. maybe move another line, maybe this one. Now let's look at it. I mean, look at the detail. Now, like I said in the very first video starting this series, if this does not interest you, just quit watching. Now, we won't be able to see that line. It's kind of imagination what you will be able to see and what you won't be able to see. And because we've, now what I would do is turn all these lines black. So when you start moving other lines, let's get that thing out of the way. And let's get, there's one more piece here that I don't think is really visible. Can't really tell yet, but we can delete that line between them. Whoop. It's always better to zoom in. And if you were doing this for real, I would keep my hand on the Z key and I just delete or zoom back and forth. Now we've pretty much got the front. Let's just move some of the other parts. Let's see if we need that part. Yes, we do at the top. So just delete that, delete that, delete that, and delete that. See, we got that little bitty edge that's stopping that. There should be that identical part on the other side. Let's move that down, see what we got. We might need that. Let's move it up. Don't need it. I'm going to put it up. If we do not need it, we're going to put it up. We do need that. Let's go ahead and, it's almost better to delete every time you make a line. Because we won't be able to see that. We won't be able to see that. We won't be able to see that. After you've kind of done this a while, you'll know what you will be able to see and what you shouldn't be able to see. Like this is only behind that block. Let's see if we can, I'm going to go a little bit further. See if we can't get just a little bit more. There we go. I'd like to get that point. See, that's the other point, but that's fine. We're going to need it. Take your virtual segment delete key and delete everything but that really good point. That's pretty cool. Now I'm going to get that, try to get that other point, and then I'll start smart filling in. There we go, got it. And then really the fun starts when you start smart filling. See, I went too far, and you need to just click on the lines instead of dragging through on small spots like that. You won't be able to see that, won't be able to see that, won't be able to see that. Now we need one, well, remember we took the cylinders down. So you can group these two or just grab them and put that cylinder up, because we do need that top of the cylinder. Now, see the difference that everything's red? So now we can just delete lines we do not need. And in a way, you could almost probably break this curve apart and just start deleting lines that way. But for right now, we'll just leave it like this. Zoom in there a little bit. I'm about through with this, folks, if you want to bear with me just a little bit longer. But look at with this drawing, I think it's, instead of adding lines, we're just moving lines. And it's kind of fun. Like when you bring in this next cylinder, we'll bring in the next cylinder up. There's actually two parts, but we'll bring, well, you know what? We don't need the backside. So that'll save us deleting lines. And I hope I'm clear, make it clear what I mean by you can't see it, because the other items will be in front of it. So I'm not going to finish for the video. I might finish it just for fun later, but take the Smart Fill tool. We're going to make it the tops blue. We're going to make the tops of the dividers green. Instead of the normal drab, what I've been doing, gray, let's make the other ones kind of an off green. I'm going to have to zoom in here. Grab the Smart Fill tool again and fill these in with just an off green. And remember, when we put the lines, it'll really pop. Now let's make the cylinders a light blue. I'm not going to do that back one. Now let's do the lines. Right click on a line. Look at the detail. That's pretty cool. And then you could always take this bottom and, well, I was thinking, well, you know what we could do here? Put those two together and smart fill this bottom in, and then left click, right click, and let's color it red. And then put it down there, go to object, order back a page, and it looks like it's got a bottom on it. A little bit of fun. I hope that helped just a little bit. Thank you for watching.